As you may have missed, the media said, Melly's team is requesting that his trial be postponed until 2026, citing his physical and mental health. Melly will have lived in conditions worse than those on death row for over 7 years. The fact that Melly has been imprisoned for 7 years without being found guilty is not well known. When I got this case 7 years ago, I said it had to move forward within the first 6 months, wrote renowned lawyer Bradford Cohen. The government wasn't ready. The inquiry was disgusting. The secret to triumph was speed, and everyone was watching. But when Melly decided to take a different route, this is what transpired. Melly had been confined.
So let me repeat myself. Mr. Devins has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers to be. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's up to the Broward Sheriff's Office, but I can, as I said, I'm just asking for a week. And then I'm asking for at least a day or two.
You can decide by tomorrow. I've also reserved all of tomorrow.
Astonished that over 2,000 days had gone by with no ruling in his case. The court threatened to release him on bond unless the prosecution could present a strong case against his release. Melly's mother then brought up the bond attempt.
We just still praying. I know I said I would I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
Melly's lawyers submitted a revised bail plan that included news coverage. Melly's legal team suggested that his record label, 300 Entertainment, post an unknown bail amount. They assured the judge that Melly would be under house arrest, wear an ankle monitor, and have security on duty around the clock if bond was approved. "That boy Melly's coming home," one rapper tweeted, citing the deep connection. "I sensed it as they got ready to share the information." Melly's mother had gathered about Melly's cruel treatment in prison.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
Melly's lawyers cited GPS data that showed him sheltering in a thicket from the alleged Twesky use. From the alleged drive-by when he was escaping the scene of the crime.
The part where he's saying that someone just shut the car up and was trying to shoot him. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah. He's like, yeah, there's some. I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juby? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
By pointing out that a firearm used in the incident was never found, since the guilty party who carried out the drive-by would have removed it. Melly's attorneys further argued that he is innocent.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
But all the prosecutors did was try to make Melly's predicament worse. With the revelation, prosecutors updated the evidence against Melly. He had no idea that Bortlen and Melly had been spotted celebrating in a parking lot only 5 hours after the murder, or that he had been caught on tape confessing to the murders. of sack chaser and juvie.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
It is evident that none of them felt upset by the passing of their closest friends. As this clip is paired with the video of Melly and the YNW boys getting into the Jeep, Melly is seen leaving the studio and sitting in the back left seat of the vehicle in order to make ready for Sackhazer and Jupe.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
The official court documents state that the fact that the bullets traveled from left to right in the car supports the accusation that the shots came from the back left seat, where Melly was positioned. The identity of the people inside the automobile was even confirmed by Juvie's mother.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
But the prosecution continued to repackage evidence to present to the judge. And they are now negotiating with Bortlen and Melly's ex-girlfriend to try to get them to come clean about Melly, because Melly's ex-girlfriend, who was meant to testify in the initial Melly prosecution, fled the country and has been hiding outside of the United States for the past 3 years. When she finally returned to the United States, she was arrested by police.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
Mariah was made to sign a release agreement by the judge, which included testifying during the Melly trial. She said on Facebook, "I am thankful. For my village, I genuinely love you all. God's plan, not mine." Regarding Melly's alleged witness manipulation, Mariah will testify. Investigators found disturbing information in her iCloud account. If found guilty of witness tampering, the most severe part of the offense, Melly faces a life sentence. Even if Melly is found not guilty of killing Sackhazer and Juvie, he will still receive a life sentence.
State filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
However, because Melly's conduct of interfering with witnesses stopped them from allowing Melly to further tamper with the case, he has been barred from using the jail phones for a full year. In this interview, Melly's mother did, however, convey her frustration with the lack of contact.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
They will get him to flip on her and rat on her because Melly tried to accuse Bortlen during the first trial, which is what will lead to Bortlen receiving a life sentence.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar.
You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
Revealing the long-standing deception Bortlen has been doing against the federal government. The one with the powder on his hands was present with Juvie and Sackhazer when they died. Even the firearm powder on Bortlen's hands was described in detail by one investigator.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of hot residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of hot residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was hot residue present on the hand.
Bortlen was irritated. Mind games don't work on people like me. Following a mistrial, Melly sent a tweet with a handshake emoji that appeared to indicate he was agreeing to a settlement. The prosecution will want to charge both of them in the retrial to make it easier for them to persuade Bortlen to turn on Melly.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase, it's the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found.
Because Bortlen won't just take life in prison. He is accused of murder, even though he knows he didn't do it. Additionally, the questioning of Bortlen the night of the crime will be used.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car, and I almost crashed.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Expressway. Yeah.
Then you took 75 south.
But it's clear from the evidence. They found at the scene that his statement is illogical because Bortlen would be found out to...
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand is that we shut down that entire area and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as 1 shell casing. They didn't find 1 piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the class.
I mean, for whatever reason, your 2 friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my like,
these your 2, I'm assuming close friends.
Yeah, we got.
And you're doing them an in-service by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't like. How? What do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
Bortlen even got so mad that he began refusing to talk.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even want to talk about it no more. Like, cause I told y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
The police cut in by asking about other details of the evening, like Portland's driving experience. Did he run into everything in any...
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got shut out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
If you know who did this, would you tell me? Would be the officer's straightforward question, while the time available for their interrogation was drawing to...
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I wouldn't want to be.
1507, however, Portland chose to shake. His head no rather than speak because he was concerned that if he had talked while lying, he would have given the officer a clue by either cracking his voice or displaying body language.